Hey, here we're back now. It's been a little break. Fell down some stairs, nursed a boo boo. Did not fall downstairs, actually. I lied. Just making up some excuse for why we took so long. Had to go to the store for some milk, like some of your fathers. Joking! Hey, welcome to episode 6 Views from Drew. As you can see, we're down a co host, cohort. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. An executive producer, however you want to say it. Uh, Hopefully he returns and in better form. But you got us. What else do you need? We're back from the store with the milk. Heard you's an NBA superstar now, son. So it's me, Brizzy Briz. We got Stretch 'em Out Chris and got Dellz. How you guys feeling today?
Oh man.
I'm okay. Evidently, my son's an NBA superstar now.
Yeah, that's why you came back.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
Milk does it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful intro, bro. I
Thanks.
loved it. Every week you get better.
I know. I'm trying. I'm trying to keep it. Keep people on their toes. Um. So I don't know if you guys have seen his shirt. What did that say? Can you spell? Marvel. Marvel. I'm a little excited because I watched the season finale of Loki. I don't know if you guys that are listening or watching are fans of it. However, you should be because it is the greatest Marvel show ever. I don't like the confusion that Chris has on his face. Would you like to elaborate?
No, my screen changed. That's
Oh
why.
yeah, it just rotated. Did Deli
Uh,
get kicked?
I believe he might have.
Hey, sorry for the weird cut. We just had some technical difficulties. But yes, we were doing. Excuse me. Cut that out.
We leave that one in.
How do you guys feel about the Loki season finale?
You want to go first, Chris? Or?
Anybody? Come on now.
I liked it. I thought it. Introduced um, what's eventually going to be like one of the biggest and baddest villains in the MCU coming up. So I like the finale. I like the dialogue that he who remains. I want to be spoiler free for those who have not watched this yet, but
They
I
got a
guess it's
week.
going to be insanely hard to do.
They got a week to figure it out.
Right. Um, but I think it introduced, I guess I could say his name. He who remains is actually Kang the Conqueror, who's going to be in the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. So I think it's going to. I like the season finale. I thought it was pretty good. It left me wanting more. So I think it did its job pretty well.
And to piggyback off of Chris, I'm just gonna say the same thing Chris just said. It was done amazingly. The dialogue was fucking amazing. Like to think that most of the show was probably like them just talking is like pretty amazing. So it's like I like when I'm watching a show and the dialogue can keep me entertained.
Yeah, I
Same here.
100% agree. When it's like it pulls you in so much that you feel like you're sitting there right with them, and you're kind of like, how you gonna reply to that? But yeah, it was great.
I thought it
Uh,
set up so many different things like that's
Yeah.
coming up in the Marvel universe. Like they plan on doing like the What If series and stuff like that, and those are essentially alternate timelines with variants in them and stuff, quote unquote. So I just feel like everything that's coming after this, like, has a plausible like if something like deviates from like the course of like what's normally expected or what's like from the source material, whatever have you. I think that this episode like really gives it um, an explanation of like why things are happening. Like it's an alternate timeline. It doesn't have to necessarily be super accurate. Like, not that they were to begin with. I mean, they deviate from the source material anyway. But I think that it just explains things so nicely to where everything doesn't have to be like comic. You know,
Well,
Yeah,
uh, are there any TV shows coming out between now and the Eternals?
I think the What If series.
yeah. What if? But that's not really. That's his own universe,
That's just doing whatever.
and we
So
don't know.
Eternals is our next
No,
progression, technically, to the story in a sense.
we
Right.
don't know that. I think we did this earlier. The Shang
I
Chi first.
Shang. No, you said Eternals before Shang Chi.
No, Shang Chi September, Eternals November,
Oh,
Spider Man December.
Sounds like a children's nursery. Like you're trying to get them to remember.
I'm not
Shang
gonna remember that.
September.
I'm not gonna remember that. But I was really, 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 really,
Really?
really, 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 really pleased
So,
with
so
the
I have,
episode.
so I have a question for you, gentlemen. Based on that, is Loki
Yes,
the best of?
yes.
Can I finish the question just
No, no
for
need.
viewership's sake?
No
I heard
need.
Loki and Bess. Yes,
Is it the best out of all
yeah,
the Marvel series that we've
yes,
seen thus far?
Yes.
yes.
I
Hands
don't think
down.
so.
Ooh, oh,
I
okay.
actually liked um,
Falcon and Winter
Falcon and
Soldier.
Winter Soldier a little bit better than I did Loki, personally.
How? How can you?
What do you mean? How? It's my opinion. It's not a fact. Jesus. I
No, I
mean,
want you to defend it.
well,
Defend
first off,
yourself.
I think I personally think it was a little bit more engaging because it wasn't dialogue heavy. I think it was a little bit more action and a little bit more fast paced. Um, and of course, I'm not saying this like as a detriment to Loki. Loki, I thought was fantastic, but I just feel
Sounds
like
like a detriment.
get your bridges out of. I almost said
Ah, ah,
what? You're entitled to think what you want.
FCC.
I'm not gonna go there with you today, Barrett. Anyway,
Wow.
um, I just felt like Falcon and Winter Soldier was a little bit more
Is it
engaging for my taste. Um, I've been heavily I've a little bit biased, a little bit more heavily invested in Falcon character. So
because he's black?
no, it has nothing to do with his race. I just happen to like the character. That's all.
Okay. Is that why you also feel that Captain America is the leader of the Avengers and
He
not
is the
Iron
leader of the
Man?
Avengers.
He
He
is not
is.
the
He is
leader
the
of the
leader of the
Avengers.
Avengers. We
Everybody
could
you
put up a
ask said the same thing.
We're going to put up a poll, ladies and gentlemen, who keeps up with all this stuff. Who is the leader of the Avengers, Captain America or Iron Man? Is it the guy in Captain America who just banks rolls and just builds things, or is it the guy, Captain America, that's on the field actually giving them orders to what to do, and the guy that actually says Avengers assemble? Yeah, roll your eyes. You
I
know I'm right.
His
I don't
defense is
agree.
Iron Man died.
So what?
No, it was more than that. Don't let him just belittle my point like this. So what happened was I said Iron Man is clearly the leader because he comes up with the plans.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
How's he does?
If it was his plan, he would be the one saying it out on the field. You look at Avengers. You look at the first Avengers movie. The cops are literally looking at Captain America. Why should I take orders from you? He kicks the alien's ass, and then they repeat the orders that he just gave. You think Thor is going to follow around the guy that can't pick up his hammer? Come on, bro.
All valid points.
All right,
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. The gas
all
face.
right, all right, all right. I'll take that. Um,
Damn right you will.
whoa. Uh, uh, I don't know where to go from there because I don't. You guys kind of crushed my pride a little bit, but it's fine. Actually, let's talk about vulnerability. You know, I'm feeling pretty vulnerable right now because I feel like I was attacked. I feel like there's a solid argument for either, character, but I'll default to you guys because you guys you're ganging up on me. But in society, is that how men feel in general when they speak about their feelings? Does it feel like I guess personal experiences. Do you feel like whenever you open up to someone or let them know your inner emotions, like you do you feel comfortable opening up to people or in general? I'll start with you, Deli.
Um, Me, no. I am not one to open up. I'm not an open book, but I will say that I guess I've been vulnerable with certain people. Um, it does take a while, and I don't know if that's because uh, the way we grew up or the fact that we grew up where we grew up, and it was never taught to us to be vulnerable. So I was just never one to be like, "Hey guys, today I'm really sad because my hamster died."
Fucking hamsters.
I had many hamsters. R.P.
Oh,
Speedy,
not the
R.P.
hamsters.
Julie,
Hey, yo, do
R.P.
you
Julie
remember
the
their names?
parakeet. Yeah,
Wait, Julie the parakeet hamster?
no, I had a hamster named Julie
Oh.
and a parakeet named Julie.
You're an idiot, bro.
I had a
This is what I have to work with every 2 weeks. Parakeet.
Hamster parakeet.
yeah, you could name like my iguana Flick, like from A
I
Bug's
remember
Life.
Flick. I remember
Yeah,
that.
Flick.
You had an iguana?
Yeah, I had an iguana and a snake.
I want an iguana.
Flick
I
used to
mean I
flick
didn't
his tail and was very abusive.
yeah, Flick was not a happy camper. But I also wasn't the best pet owner. So he could be barely upset about that. But his name was Flick, and then I had a snake. I named him Flick Jr. because I was really creative.
That's the third face palm I've done this episode. We're early
Flick Junior.
in this. Flick
I
Junior.
didn't wasn't sure what other name to come up with, so I said Flick Jr.
The snake didn't even
See,
flick, bro. He didn't
the
flick.
snake. I don't know. The snake's head exploded. Still to this day, have no idea what happened.
What?
I don't know what happened. I swear to God. Came home, head's gone, maggots. Don't know what happened. Don't know what happened at all. If you're a snake expert, please explain to me what happened because
That
I
is
have no
a
idea. Unless
horrifying thing for a person to come home to.
unless somebody murdered my snake, and
And
if
made a
that's
head.
the case,
That's
I will
wild.
find you and I will murder you for killing Flick Jr.
Maybe
20
Flick.
years later.
Maybe Flick killed
Flick is the ghost of Flick.
him.
I don't know how we got here. We're supposed to be talking about men vulnerability. We're talking about getting revenge for animals. Um, Christian, do you have any say on men
It's gotta
vulnerability
be.
in space?
You started on your story. I completely forgot for a second that was even the topic that we were talking about. Um, but I guess like it's a combination. Like just to piggyback off of what Dell said, it's like a combination of multiple things. Like it's a combination of where I guess you know people grow up at. But I think it's also a combination of like society teaches men what they have to be. Like I think we're put like especially like as minorities, in contemporary society, a lot of pressure is put on us to be like providers and to be strong and not show emotion and stuff like that. And that's like kind of like an unspoken societal rule that we teach young men from very young. I guess in my personal experiences, like it takes me a while to warm up to people, so
Mm,
I can share things about myself and maybe not particularly right off the bat something that I consider like pretty vulnerable or whatever have you. Like with y'all, of course, like I could share because I've known y'all for
Ever.
XYZ amount of years. Like, I feel comfortable sharing most, like, thoughts and emotions and stuff with y'all. Like, y'all know stuff about me I dare not tell anybody else. But, like, let's say that I meet somebody and we hit it off as friends, or if I'm dating somebody, or whatever have you, I'm not initially so quick to share things. Like, it takes me a while to be vulnerable around people sometimes. I have my guard up when it comes to sharing stuff. Like, I selectively share, if that makes any sense.
So I think it's kind of weird with me because like I open up to people quickly, but at the same time I don't trust them completely.
Right.
So I don't know what I don't know. It's weird. Like I don't know. I have like a shell. Like I trust you, but I don't trust you.
Right. It's like being a turtle. I understand.
It's like I let you in on enough and to see what you say with the stuff that you have, and then that determines how I treat you afterwards.
Yeah, that's,
Because
yeah.
it's like, I guess it's like a test kind of thing. Like, I'll let you know
Mhm.
some sensitive information, and let's see if it gets out. If it gets out, I know it's you, and then I'll treat you accordingly. But I don't know. Eh, being vulnerable is overrated. Who wants
Being
to be
vulnerable
vulnerable?
is overrated.
Being
I
vulnerable is
mean,
overrated.
do you not think it's
Ah,
healthy?
it's overrated.
It's
No, you don't need to express your feelings. You need to suppress everything and deal with it yourself. All
Right.
right? Because
Suppress
that's how.
everything and let it turn into cancer
Yeah,
10 years
let
later.
it turn into tumors in your head, and you
No.
just obviously this is a joke. This is the satire portion of the podcast. Obviously, you should find at least a couple individuals, if not at least one individual, that you can seriously confide in and be able to tell, your darkest secrets. Like, I hate being tickled after 11 p.m. and feel comfortable saying that to them. Because
Why
if
do
you
I get
hold,
the feeling that that's true in your case?
I'm not ticklish, honestly.
me either.
I might. It actually, I have selective ticklishness. I don't know if that's a word.
Okay, just continue with the
So
original point.
no, 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 no. We're gonna expound on this. So, like, sometimes I'm ticklish, and then other times I'm not ticklish. So it's really weird. It
I
depends on
regret
like the
even giving
mood,
you that
the
opening.
weather. I don't know what it is. Selective ticklishness.
I
Look it
regret
up.
even giving you that opening now. I regret it.
But what I was saying is, you shouldn't internalize all the things and problems you have, because it's a lot for one person to take in, especially in today's society
Hmm.
when you're exposed to so many things. Like, I was gonna make a post the other day, but I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. But this is what I was gonna post. So in today's society, you see so many people on social media, and it seems like they're all like busy, booked and busy, and everybody's got money and such and such and such. But it's like, those people probably broker than you that you see flaunting and flashy and all over the place. That's just the lifestyle they want to portray to the outside world. That, I'm out here getting it. But a lot of those people have internal issues that they deal with that you'll never see. But you should always be confident in what you have and be what's that, content with what you got going on. Because comparing yourself to the next person, you 9 times out of 10 you're gonna compare yourself to somebody that you can't keep up with, or you think you can't keep up with. In reality, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You don't have to be in, Bora Bora with uh what's the Tory Bricks getting shot in LA or whatever. I don't know.
Wait, what? Okay,
I don't know if you noticed, anytime Tory Bricks is around someone,
with
they always seem
someone,
to
yeah.
get robbed. I don't know what that is about. Don't come to anywhere I'm near Tory Bricks. No, I have no beef with you or whoever is around you. But
Whoever's doing that.
yeah, whoever's like just following you and robbing people you like. But be content with who you are. If you need to, take social media breaks. If you need to, just delete them in its entirety. You don't need it, honestly. Um, but yeah, that's my TED talk. Uh, you guys got any other remarks when it comes to men vulnerability out here?
I think that we're getting to a point where it's more acceptable, but it needs to be embraced a little bit more. Like, I like the fact that you said that you should have at least one person that you can confide into, like whether it be like a spouse, significant other, or
Uncle,
uncle,
mom,
family member,
dad,
pastor,
something.
or whatever. Somewhere you can go where you feel safe to talk about like whatever's bothering you or your innermost secrets or whatever floats your boat or whatever have you. But I think that slowly, I think it's becoming more acceptable, but it still needs to be embraced a little bit more. You know, like
Well, it's rough because I feel like there's a very thin line between people being vulnerable and just being straight up pussies. So
well, let's get into that. What do you think that line is? Like,
I don't know. I just feel like people, this generation whines a fucking lot, and it's like
I agree.
certain things aren't that big of a deal, and it's like, why are we complaining about this? It's like, just like, never mind. I'm not gonna go out.
I,
I'm not gonna
I
do
mean,
it.
I agree, but at the same token, like, what's not a big deal to me could be like the end of the world for somebody else.
Yeah, like if you miss, I apologize in advance for anyone who I am about to offend.
Oh boy.
It is in no way a personal attack against you or how you feel. It's just how I view it in my personal experience. Had we met, I might feel a little differently. But right now, as at the recording of this time, if your pronouns are they and you look like a she, I'm calling you a she. Who? How? It's not even casual. I could be like, "Hey, they, come here. They, like you're a person. You're not they. You're she or he. Like they. I don't. No, I'm not doing they, them. Like
It
it's
makes
so uncomfortable. It's not natural.
it makes sense. It's actually in the dictionary. I actually read that the other day. You can
What
actually
to call
use
them
they as
they?
a singular pronoun.
Wait, what? They said that?
It's in the dictionary. I swear it. It's in Webster's dictionary.
Is it
What
because they
year?
changed it,
What
or
year
is
Oh,
is
it?
it's,
this?
it's always been a thing. It's actually been a thing before. Like, how can I say this? Like during the I want to say the 17th century, because you can actually refer to, like, for example, when you talk about property, oh, that's theirs, right? You could be talking about one person when you say that. So it's
Right.
actually pretty common to use they in, like, with what we would normally use as um, a pronoun describing like a group of people or multiple people. You can actually use it for a singular person.
Is it
Not in
similar to
America. It
y'all?
wasn't taught like that.
Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, y'all would be like an informal way of saying it, but yeah, it could be similar to that.
Okay. See, sometimes I'm just ignorant. So I mean, I'm always open to changing. But at the time, I that's just how I felt.
No, I
Not to
get what you're
say
saying
that,
though,
not
because
because like what I feel like what you feel is stupid. I just personally don't feel like I should have to change my entire way of life because this would make you more comfortable. You just gotta understand I'm that one friend you just fucking suck it up with. Cause I'm not trying to do it to offend you. This is just how I'm talking to you. That was all. I mean, just things like that. I mean, there's other things. I mean, in the sense, some people can say black people are a little bit too sensitive or pussies when it comes to certain things. I agree.
Eh,
Um,
like,
there's certain things that black people
like
say, and I'm just
what?
like, just
like
We
what?
can't
relax.
end on that note. You got to elaborate that.
Uh, I can't think of like a certain thing right
Well,
at the
you
moment.
just did
But when
bad.
I see it, the next time I
No,
see
no,
it, I'll
you
bring
did.
it to y'all
You
attention.
did bad just now.
I did not do bad. I can I can comfortably say there's some shit that black people just want to fucking complain about that you shouldn't be complaining about.
Like what?
I can't think of the topic right
So then
now,
nothing.
but when I do see it, I will bring it to your attention. I
So
can't.
you brought up something you can't even elaborate on right now. Like, why would we
I'm
end
in
on
natural conversation. There's a lot of things that you'll bring up in natural conversation. You'll be like, I know what I'm talking about, but I can't tell you exactly what it is that I'm referencing at the time because I can't recall a certain, you know, time.
Okay,
Listen,
moving on.
all I know is that
As we
I'm
go on, if
learning
I'm
to
going to
adapt
keep
to
thinking
culture.
about it, I'll bring it up when I figure it out. Is that fair? Is that
This is
fair?
a to be
I'll.
continued. We're bringing this
It,
up next
it's
podcast.
going to be no. It's not going to be next podcast. It's going to be this podcast. As we
Okay,
continue, I'm going to be thinking. So we can move on to Sherry Richardson in the
Ari,
Shikari. Or see, I don't even know her name.
Sherry Richardson.
Oh my God,
Shikari Richardson.
you're doing us a disservice, man.
I'm not doing this a disservice. I'm being honest. Let's go on with the topic.
Honest disservice.
Okay, that's fair. We'll meet in the middle.
No.
All right. So a young woman uh was believe she broke the record for what the sprint
100 meter,
400-meter
100
sprint
yard, 100 meter
100,
dash.
100 yard
100 meter dash.
100-meter dash moving like
She
I
is
would say grass, but grass goes kind of slow.
she is
Um,
officially, I think, the fastest woman in the world by race time standards.
but then the Tokyo Olympics discovered she smoked a little bit of the sticky icky ooh wee Mary Jane.
The devil's
And,
Mary
lettuce.
and
Jen.
Mary
Mary
Jane.
Jane.
And they said not here, and they revoked her, ticket to the Olympics and participating in any event because she was also supposed to run the relays. She's supposed to do the 400-meter relays. That's what it was,
Indeed.
and they took that away from her. How do you guys feel about that? I think this might be one of the topics where I can say I think some
on
people are
something?
overreacting. Yeah.
How?
Let's go. Just go.
Okay, I feel like right now, especially right now in 2021, that shouldn't be a rule anymore. One, because weed is legal in multiple states.
Okay, this is
Um,
a international event where a lot of countries frown upon the
she
use of
didn't
marijuana.
she didn't smoke in those countries, so
Okay, but it's still an international event, and knowing as a professional that you're about to participate, probably the highest way you can represent your country in your sport. You still, I understand she also lost some mother, so condolences to that. And maybe that was her coping mechanism, but at the same time, as a professional athlete, on the way to the Olympics, you know what the rules are, and they're not going to change. They're not going to flex. Why would you take that opportunity or think have a lapse in judgment to put yourself in a position? I mean, kudos to her. She took credit for it immediately, and she didn't try to downplay it or try to dismiss it. She understood, she understood that she messed up and that she needs to be, penalized accordingly. When they removed her from the meters, the relay, I did not agree with it because that was an event that took place later on, and they would have gave her time, I think, for the drugs to clear her system, and they could have retested her, and she would have been able to show up for the relay. Um, being suspended from the one event, I agree with because even though it's not a performing enhancement, drug or anything like that, she did violate the rules. So you do have to be penalized for something. You can't just get off scot free just because majority of the country feels like weed should be legal. There's a standard, and you have to meet it.
Okay, I agree with everything you said too, because I think there's a lot to unpack other than the fact that why
Yeah,
they just suspended her for weed?
yeah,
Like there's rules in place, and as a professional and as an Olympic athlete, you know what those rules are. She broke the rules, so she has to pay the consequences. Unfortunately, you hate to see it, but that's how the rules are. Do I think that the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, needs to change and needs to grow with the times? Absolutely,
yes,
because like you look at Congress, they're trying to pass a bill that federally, legalizes weed and whatever have you. That weed is not a performance enhancing drug. Personally, if I'm the rest of those athletes that were running against her and I knew she was high, I'd pretty much feel like shit. But no, I'm serious. It's like
no,
you
that's
run against a person. It's like, dude, I'm so fucking stoned. Like, and I fucking lost against you. Like, really? But at the same token, you know, it is a banned substance, and I get it. I don't want to see it, but they can't bend that rule for just one athlete.
one
But I
person.
will say this: Michael Phelps, when he was winning all those gold medals and partying in the Olympics or whatever have you, on the Olympic town or whatever have you, I can't remember the place those Olympics took place, whatever have you. He was photographed with a bong, so it's like I don't think he would be photographed with that for kicks and giggles. What was he doing over there? So it's it's a lot I think to speculate on as well. Like I'm not gonna like the International Olympic Committee does have a history, especially when it comes to drug testing. I think to turning a blind eye to certain athletes and not
Hmm.
necessarily acknowledging everything that a drug test, you know, pulls up.
And it
For
was also interesting that they had banned like a swimming cap
yeah.
for
yeah,
people
yeah,
to have. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's a little.
it just seems really stuffy. Like
It is. That's
it just seems really stuffy. It's like Wimbledon. Like everybody has to wear like I remember Serena Williams got into like it was like a minor spat with like the
The cat
officials
suit.
of Wimbledon because she didn't
yeah.
wear all white. It's like why is this a fucking rule? Like it just seems really stuffy. Like I like weed is not a performance enhancing drug, and I understand that her mom passed away, and like you said, it was her coping mechanism to deal with that, and I understand that wholeheartedly, and I also understand that as an athlete, she does need to follow the rules, but at the same time, like
To suspend her indefinitely, I
right,
think is bullshit.
I think
One
it's
event,
way too harsh of a
yes.
punishment. I agree, and I also think that the IOC needs to change with the times. Like there's so many other sports, not only in America but abroad, that are like like not mandating but like legalizing the use or not necessarily penalizing for the use of marijuana for self medication. So it's like I think that the fact that the IOC even has this stature in place for marijuana is just so like archaic, which means it's really old and outdated. Like I think they just need to change with the times. Like the fact that they even still have this rule for this one particular drug. It would be one thing if she was like high on coke or something
Yeah,
like that.
like
She's outrunning everything. Fine, you penalize her and suspend her for that because that's a felony drug. Plus it probably would enhance her performance. Like, but for marijuana, it's like I just don't see it. Like they really need to change that rule.
I just imagine somebody running off coke. Like, oh man, it'd be the fastest. They're like, oh, I thought I heard the gun, and they just run it before anybody even starts. They're running before the gun even goes off.
Right.
That's what. All right, look, this is a serious topic, but yes, this is one of the things where I felt like people were like, "Oh, they only did this because she's black," like yada yada yada. Sometimes you just broke the rules, and yes, like you may feel strongly that she should not have been penalized or whatever, but it doesn't make it a racial situation.
I mean, I'm just saying this to play devil's advocate. The IOC has a history of being shady.
Yes,
Black athletes do not normally get celebrated at the Olympics.
yes,
There's a bigger track record of the IOC turning a blind eye for certain things for
yes.
white athletes.
I
So
agree.
I think to me, like to say
But
that
this one's pretty cut and dry.
it is, but there's like to me, anytime when it involves a minority of any sort, I'm not saying that they made their decision because of race. I'm not saying that, but there is a racial component here.
Yes, possibly.
There is a
not
racial
possible,
component here. Like
definitely.
they recently,
Possibly.
right? They
I mean,
recently.
we can't for sure say that.
No, I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying for sure that they did this decision
I am.
because of
You
race.
can't 100% say it. We can again speculate and
Well,
assume based
well,
off the track record and the trends that they already have, but we cannot say for sure
I
that
mean,
this was racially motivated.
but that's my
Racially
point.
motivated.
Based on those track records and trends, you can't necessarily also give them that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, what they
Yeah.
teach you in school, bro?
Yes. What? What you
What
mean
they
about
teach you in
weed?
school? What? How to buy weed?
No, I said what? I said what about weed? What are you talking about? What do you mean they
No,
teach me in
like
school?
if the trends are all pointing
If it's
one
quacking
direction,
like a duck and it looked like a duck,
it's a fucking
it
duck.
could still be an owl. And
Maybe it's a goose.
it could be an owl. Maybe it's a confused cat. I don't know. I
Surrounded
don't
by
know.
idiots, I swear.
Um. All right, talking about idiots. Biz Marquis was just pronounced dead.
That
Oh,
was
wait
a
a
bad
minute.
transition.
I don't like that segue at all. What do you mean talking about idiot?
Yeah, because people are saying that Biz Marquis is dead. And he's not dead.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're talking about the people and
You
not
probably couldn't
Bismarck.
have
Yeah,
said talking about idiots, Biz Marquis.
no.
That was a bad segue, man. That's the worst segue you did on this podcast, man.
And just because you like the beatbox, that's fucked up.
No, I meant like the idiots were saying he was dead. I said, speaking of idiots, people were saying recently Biz Marquis died or
There we
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, you didn't say that, though, nigga. You said,
Okay,
speaking of idiots, Biz Marquis. Whoa.
Biz Marquis is not an idiot. He's a legend.
There we go.
I do not think Biz Marquis is an idiot. But the people who keep prematurely killing people before they actually die, they're idiots.
Yes.
Like they killed DMX before he actually died, even though it might have been true. It was not officially put out. You can't just keep saying people are dead before they're dead. That's rude. And in some instances, they might be dead. I.e. the Kobe thing. TMZ had the news before Vanessa Bryant did, and that's very tasteless to break news like that without informing the family first or allowing the family
I'm
to at least put something together, some kind of statement or something like that. The respect.
I'm glad that you said that because I was going to talk about Kobe Bryant's situation, not because of Kobe Bryant though, because of do you guys remember the one other person that they said was on that plane with Kobe Bryant, and a lot of people heard that and was like on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever have you, saying, "Oh, Kobe Bryant and this other person was on the helicopter that fateful day?
Rick Fox.
Rick Fox, yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Fox. A lot of people were reporting like, "Oh, Rick Fox was on the helicopter too." And I was watching the next day. I was off of work. I'll never forget this. I was off of work and I watched Inside the NBA because they aired a special where they were remembering the legacy of Kobe Bryant, and Rick Fox was there. And Kenny Smith was talking about like how he would invite Rick Fox to his basketball camp because they went to the same school. They both went to North Carolina, and Kenny Smith like heard that Rick Fox, like he heard the reports that Rick Fox was on the plane, and he texted Rick Fox, "Just say hey," and Rick Fox texted him back, and he said like at that moment he broke down and like he screamed, like he broke down in tears and everything. Like what you were saying just now, like the race for reporters to be first with news and stuff like that. You just don't know, like he said, you just don't know what it puts like the people that they're close to, what that puts them through, and especially like when it's a false report. Like Rick Fox was completely safe, I'm assuming, at home or doing whatever he does, you know. And so many people and outlets were like, "Oh, Rick Fox was also on that helicopter." I can only imagine what his immediate family was going through hearing that.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's
Yeah, shit like that. You should
definitely.
be able to. That should definitely be a suable offense.
it's libel. It's not true.
Yeah, that has to be like. Is that like fall under like defamation? Maybe
Libel. It's a written lie.
liability.
Written lie. Slander is spoken. Libel is written.
Oh, excuse me, Mister Webster Dictionary. Yeah. So, do you, any expounding on that? I mean, it's not. I mean, I feel like we covered everything. You just with those
Yeah. Stop
two.
doing it, people. If you're one of those people
Yes.
that do it, just don't do it. And
Yeah.
Wait for the family or some legitimate source to confirm the report before you go tweeting or posting RIP, blah, blah, blah. Like they keep trying to kill Betty White. Let this woman live.
Betty White and Jackie Chan, bro.
Let this woman
Yeah,
live,
like
please.
Jackie
Jet
Chan
Li.
died like 5 times, and Jet Li. I'm just like,
Jet
And
Li has been like in poor health for like so many years. I saw Jet Li the other day. I was like, he's in better shape than me.
is he in the movie?
It's a low bar,
I,
but you know,
I think he's in Shang-Chi.
I think so.
I feel like he's in Shang-Chi.
He's in some type of big project that's coming up. We have the internet.
If he's not, I 100% apologize, and I do not think he's in the movie just because of his background. I would. I just thought I heard his name mentioned with Shang-Chi. I'm just gonna move off the topic now.
Oh, but he is in Mulan.
You said Mulan. He's in Mulan.
He is in Mulan.
Hmm, maybe I'm confusing it with Mulan.
maybe.
Awkward. Yeah. Moving on. um, returning to work after the pandemic. Things are slowly but surely getting back to normal in
It ain't slow.
America. Okay, quickly getting back to normal in America. Some other countries are going through lockdowns again and experiencing spikes, i.e., Tokyo. They're even considering having no spectators at the Olympics because of the recent spikes.
They aren't.
Um,
There won't be anybody.
where at the Olympics, right? They
The
already
Olympics, yeah.
confirmed that.
Because of the
Okay.
spike that's going on in Japan, they've confirmed that.
All right. So, speaking of people getting back to work, we have a residential expert right here in our own midst who's been with a company that's experienced the ups and the downs during the pandemic, which is AMC. Dellz,
I was like,
please.
is it Chris or is it me? I
I was
don't
like, I didn't know where he was going with that either. I was like,
know. Well, my job during the pandemic, I wouldn't say we fully recovered, but we are moving to a recovery. I will
Your
say
industry is very important,
my
and
industry
I
is
need it to
important
stay.
to you
Yes,
and many
to
many families.
a lot of people,
Yes.
not just me.
Um, I will say that at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was concerned about us closing because they still wanted to watch movies. Then when we closed, everyone was like shocked, like, "Oh no, why this?" And then it got bad in the country, and everybody stayed home. And then I want to say probably like January 2021, February 2021, when I'll be like walking outside my building, checking on my building, people will be like, "Oh, you guys opening soon? You opening soon? You opening soon?" And I feel like that was a sign that people miss normality more so than anything. So I feel like the movie theater business is basically just a sense of normalcy for people. It was crappy going through the pandemic in the movie theaters. Uh, they cashed out all my fucking sick time, my vacation time, because they didn't know when we were opening back again. To then have me come back in a month. But a lot of people I do know um, were jobless for like a year, like a whole year, um, which was pretty wild. And on the road to recovery, I will say, even though the country is moving in the right direction, well, in the direction to being back to normal, people are still hesitant. But that could just be my experience in New York because us New Yorkers are pretty safer people. I don't know how it is in Florida. Um, the Wild Wild West.
Absolutely nothing has changed in Florida ever.
COVID
That
never started in
COVID
Florida.
never existed in Florida. Maybe for like a week. But after that week, people were like, "Oh fuck this! I'm going outside without a mask. You can't tell me I can't wear. I have to wear a mask. This is America, and I have liberties." Uh, that
Sound like
was
Stan
no.
Marsh. Sound like Stan Marsh from South
I
Park. I
have
thought this was America.
liberties.
I know about Rose. I thought this was America.
They took our jobs.
Yeah.
Um, me personally, um, part of me, part of me, wants to kind of go back to like the beginning of COVID, not like the deaths, but like how quiet and how everyone was like home. The highways were open. Oh, well, speaking of my industry, I'm a government employee. Um, uh, we never stopped working. I never had a furlough or anything like that. So I've been working constantly for the whole time. But I enjoyed
So I know he
how
barely works,
open.
ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Okay. I enjoyed how open the highways were. It was like no traffic, no one was anywhere. It was nice. It was nice.
These are such
Um,
trivial responses to a pandemic. The highways
it,
are
I
open.
mean, I'm just speaking on the other side of it. Yes, people were dying in these times of there being no traffic, but it was nice that there was no traffic, and I enjoyed seeing all the news reports about I kind of like nature returning, like the oceans were getting clearer, the skies were getting clearer. Animals were starting to like come out of the woods and like just frolic in the streets
Well,
because
that's
no
not
one was outside.
safe.
But it's nice because this world honestly belongs to them. And here we are, destroying it with our industrial like mentality in a sense.
Says the
Cause
government employee.
anyway, I just think all right, just want to go that way. Never mind. I just think it's just weird how I don't know, I just how simple life got at that moment. Um it just made you sit down, it kind of made you sit down and reflect like are the things that we value as a society all that important? Like all those people that used to come into the office for work, these companies are now realizing they could just stay home and maybe come in once a week. A lot more people are getting to spend more time with they're seeing their families more. Um, People are realizing, why do I want to work at this job and get paid this little bit of money when I was on unemployment? I was getting paid more money to do nothing. So it's like, why return back to this job where I'm putting in like 70 hours a week and I'm only getting like $1,000 a week paychecks and things like that. So it, I, it was bad for the fact that a lot of lives were lost. We were spreading this disease. A lot of people weren't taking it serious, but it was good in the fact that I feel like it kind of woke up. I want to say, in a sense, I think we might be on the brink of in a like a workers' revolution in a sense. I think we're going to be begin to see a lot more like rallies when it comes to wages, maternity leave, things like that. How America approaches things like that, because there's a lot of countries that do not operate like America, and that were able to return, open things up a lot quickly. I don't know if necessarily their economies. I don't think anybody's economy is really fully restored, but they were able to. People were able to stay home and they got paid. They were getting vouchers to get groceries, things like that. Like places like Spain, they did things like that, and it's like here we are, the richest country in America, richest country in the world being America, and we were arguing over whether or not to give citizens money to pay bills. So it's like it I think it was kind of like an awakening for the middle class, and I mean that middle class. There's really no middle class, like the lower class and the upper class, because there is no middle class in reality in America, and it's crazy because I'm watching the inflation go up, and like the wages aren't meeting the pay, and I don't think you can ever really make. I don't think like people say that like, oh, we need to make the minimum wage meet the rate of inflation, but they're just gonna keep going up because they're gonna have to find the money from somewhere. Somebody's got to pay it. So I think we're on the path of maybe correcting things like that, like the economy in a real sense. But it could either go really bad or really good. I
I
think it's
will.
going to go really bad.
I will
But
say. I will say that being an employee for a company, that I did feel the same way you felt in the beginning. Um, but as we got further and further into the recovery state, I feel like people are now, like before September gets here, are like mad dash for a job. It's not like the same. I don't. I will say that the restaurant industry is probably fucked, but with like waiters and waitresses, because that's fucking ridiculous. And I feel like a lot of people are like, I'm not doing that ever
yeah,
again.
fast food.
Yeah, if
Did
I
y'all
don't
know if
gotta
you
live
saw? I
off
seen those
tips,
videos of like
not
people like quitting,
not doing that.
like Burger King mid shift.
It was
Like
like
the whole staff
right, yeah. It
walked
was
out
some staff somewhere. I can't remember. I just read that too. Like some staff, entire staff, just walked out. I think during the shift.
That's wild. I
because
ain't
they were
know
just
about
like, I'm not getting paid enough to do this. And like there was we had ordered Domino's a couple weeks ago, and it was like going on an hour and a half, and they still haven't delivered the pizza. So we like call, and we're like, "Yo, like, where's the pizza?" And they're like, "Oh, we've been trying to reach you." Okay, that's a lie. You just got to say that to cover face. Like, no, y'all didn't. And they're like, "Well, look, we don't have a driver to deliver the pizza." So my wife had to go to the store. When she got to the store, there's only two people working there, and the manager of the store was like, "Look, we were like, we're backed up. We don't have drivers." He's like, he felt so bad that he gave like us all the food free. He gave us two free drinks, two brownie cakes.
Whoa,
Um,
how is he
yeah,
surviving?
he was just like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't hear. Just like, I'm sorry. And then like some other guy was in there, kind of taking advantage of it. Like, oh, go give me that too. Give me that soda too. And it's like, look, this guy's just kind of like, like, look, I feel bad. There's really nothing I can do. Here, just take it. Just take it. Like, I don't know what to do. We ain't never seen times like this. So there's nothing in the handbook of Domino's that says how to handle this. So it's just, I
How to
think
handle being
we're,
underemployed?
yeah, understaffed and overworked. And it's like, we're really on the brink of seeing something,
Yeah, something,
something
something's coming.
serious. And I don't know if I think the companies kind of have an idea of what's coming, but I don't think they understand like the volume at which it's about to come at them and the intensity, because people don't give a fuck anymore at this point. They're like, I'm gonna get what I think we deserve, and that there's no middle ground.
Chris, would you like to elaborate? Well, my personal experience with everything, I worked for a company that furloughed me. Um, I work in a arena, and I'll leave it at that. Um, especially because they just released their whole new social media policy. With that said, um, I got furloughed. When was that? I want to say the end of May, and I literally filed for unemployment the same day they told us that. So I haven't personally been hurting because I've had unemployment to fall back on. Plus, I had my own little nest egg saved up. We've had that conversation off air, off the record, but I don't mind sharing that with other people. So I was prepared for most things. Not that I, happened to magically see a pandemic coming and shutting down most of the world, but in comparison to most people, I had a little bit of something to fall back on. With that said, my time during the pandemic, I've learned to be more appreciative of the little things that work in my favor in life. Um, I reflect very often that one of my biggest decisions is what I will wear to go outside. And I cross reflect that with the fact that at least I have clothing to wear outside and I have a roof over my head and I have people that I can talk to about most things that are bothering me. There's a lot of people out in the world that don't have these things, and the pandemic has exacerbated that. As far as my opinion on things getting back to normal, um, I can only be optimistic. I hope that people are continuing to take this seriously. Um, I hope that people are continuing to actually research what's going on rather than going to their idiot friend on social media who happens to find a meme that agrees with whatever narrative that they subscribe to. Um, Read medical journals that are peer reviewed. Don't just go on social media or some gut feeling because you don't trust something. Like I love people who say that. Like I have no problem against somebody who won't take the vaccine because they're skeptical or whatever have you. Fine. If you're skeptical about what's going into your body, you should be because it's something that's fairly recently made and whatever have you. And I can understand that. But don't say that somebody's like putting a microchip into your freaking body when you're carrying around a cell phone and you give the government your social security number to file your taxes. It's stupid. But with that said, like I hope people continue to take the even like the tail end of the pandemic very seriously because I think, especially in this country, America, I think that we live with an attitude like when we see things that happen in other countries, we live with the attitude like, oh, that'll never happen over here.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen again. Like this really
Yeah.
can happen again if the shit gets out of control. So I really hope people are taking this seriously. Don't just, because they're lifting off some standards or whatever have you, don't just go all willy nilly, and just hang out wherever you can. Still be very cautious, be very mindful, continue to wash your hands and stuff like that when you come into your house. Should be doing that anyway. It shouldn't have took a
I,
pandemic to open that up to people.
I think you're already a little too late. It's like, the parties are back. Like they're like going off like nothing ever happened.
I mean, the parties
Clubs are
were going
full. The
on.
Doing
restaurants
that
are
during the
full.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't. But now it's like more
It's really in
in your
swing now.
face.
Yeah. I went
Yeah, like
to a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, actually, on like 2 weeks ago Friday, I went to a bar, and this was like the first like place I went to like since they lifted like some of those mandates and stuff, and it was packed, and I never felt more awkward in my entire life. And like I was going to see people who I knew, like a bunch of people, but it still was like really super awkward to be in a space. It's not a huge bar, like it's a dive bar, but it was packed, and it was like I was a little uncomfortable being in a space with so many people. So I think that's gonna like for me personally, it's gonna take me a little bit while longer to warm up to being around like people in confined spaces. And I want to say it was like 100, like at minimum 100 people in this bar. Like
Yeah,
so,
like I'd be cool. Like
I,
outside events, inside events, I'd be
right?
like,
Like we got to share the same air. Like nah, bro, I don't know you.
that's a lot.
Plastic cups.
so. How do you feel about the mask free options uh that they're putting in place now? Do you feel like people should still be wearing masks? What do you think? How
Well,
do
I
you
I
mean,
feel
feel?
like
no. You first.
I feel like we should be at a
Like,
point
do you
where
think people should wear masks in the movie theater?
no, I mean I don't think so. I mean, my theory on masks is now is like, hey, the country offered you a solution to where you shouldn't need a mask, so you have the option to either get the vaccine or not. If you decide to make the grown up decision to not wear a mask and not be vaccinated, then that is your choice. Um, I have no problem with it. I mean, if I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to wear my mask. If I go somewhere, I'm probably going to have my mask on because I'm protecting me rather than I'm here to protect the world. And that's where I'm at now because there's you have too many there's things you can do to prevent it from killing you. So like for you to make that decision, that's on you. And that's where I'm at with the mask policy. So I mean, if the CDC says no mask, no mask. And I feel like before the CDC even announced anything, it was like, hey, you were either going to wear a mask or you're not. Like honestly speaking, like no one's policing it. No one's been policing it. So what's the huge deal? Like, eh,
I am happy those videos are over.
with the
Like,
mask, wear your mask.
put your mask on. Why you have a mask? I'm so happy those are over.
I
Those are getting
mean,
kind of old.
for me personally, like I agree with Dellz wholeheartedly. Like I'm glad that it's an option. Like me personally, I continue to wear a mask outside, whatever have
I
you.
do not. I do not.
You're
But
from
I'm also
Florida, we expect
vaccinated.
that.
I'm
Um,
not from Florida. I live.
um, but no, all seriousness, I still continue to wear a mask. Not only for my own personal safety, but for the personal safety of others. You know, I fun fact know people who are immunocompromised for various things, more than one person. So, God forbid I come into contact with somebody and they get some type of residual sickness or whatever have you because I'm carrying some type of antibody or I happen to come in contact with somebody and I don't get sick myself. But I wear it not only for my own safety, but for the safety of others too. And I'm glad that it's an option. You know, if you feel comfortable not wearing a mask or whatever have you, more power to you. Hope you don't get sick. But for me, I just want to make sure that I'm protected, so I continue to wear a mask. So it makes me feel comfortable. I don't mind wearing it. So that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll be honest.
What?
I was gonna say something about the
Yo,
mask.
yo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm one of those people that are in. I'm just ready to just move on.
Right, Floridian. Go ahead.
Uh, I mean, yes, it's still a serious thing, but I mean, at this point, like you guys said, if you decide you don't want to wear a mask and not get vaccinated, uh, for lack of better words, if you die, you die. It's like wearing like going on a motorcycle without a helmet. Like you're taking that,
There's a risk.
Yeah.
like you know what the risk
You
is.
are assuming the
So
risk, yeah.
if like you just start dropping, I'm out of here. I'm just ready, for things to open back
Like
up.
I hate the people like not to cut you off. I hate the people that say like, well, if you catch it, you're not going to die anyway. That doesn't mean I want to fucking catch it.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's like nobody acts to catch the flu. Like you're more likely because of medical technology where we are now. Like this isn't like the 16th century. Like if I get the flu, the possibility of me dying from the flu is very slim. That doesn't mean I want to catch the flu.
Yeah, I caught the flu once. It ain't fun.
No, the flu wiped me out, man.
Yeah, bro. You don't want to eat. You can't
I
even
was a fat
sleep
kid when I caught the
properly.
flu.
You
I lost
sweating
all that
and you
weight.
cold, bro. It's the worst. Well, probably not
Worst
the
2 weeks
and
worst.
of
then
my
Pretty
life.
in
bad.
some cases, your job might not pay you for your sick days because you don't have any.
And there's that.
That there, yeah,
So I mean,
that's me.
hey,
I have 2 6
that's a.
days
There's a
accumulated
financial component to getting sick, people.
since we opened.
I'm sorry, Nelly. It sounds like you need.
It's fugazi, man. That's some
It
shit.
sounds like you need to be part of this workers' revolution.
Oh, I'm down. I'm totally down
The
for it.
Movie theater domination.
I don't know if you know.
AMC up.
2 episodes ago, I said "fuck my job" is still "fuck my job" for real.
All right.
You
Hopefully
don't
they
give
don't see this.
yeah.
I don't give a
Social media. All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts, closing arguments, things like that?
Um, I just worked a 12-hour shift for the job that I don't want to be at.
Love
Tell us how you really feel about your job.
the job that he loves. It pays him handsomely
They
with
do
great
not pay me
benefits.
enough, and that's probably why I don't want to be
A
there.
lot of benefits. A lot of
They
benefits.
took my benefits.
They gave it.
They paid me out bi-weekly, and then when I came back, they didn't say, "Hey, we know we made you use just your hours, but here you go." Like here, it was like, "No, accumulate starting from zero." So then a lot of people in that company came up on the stock world, and the little guys like me didn't get nothing, not a bonus, not a thank you for keeping our buildings up, not a dollar cent, not even some sick time. So if they would have gave me like my vacation time back, like here's 2 weeks of vacation back, I'd be fine. I'd be
We're in,
hey.
we're in a rant, folks. We are fully in a rant.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm, I'm
Are you
just
sure?
yeah. I'm tired. I had a long day. Yeah.
Long
Yeah.
days to do that to you, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's been there before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
Everybody's
not
been there
you.
before.
So not recently.
Not yeah. You don't get to say that you sweat and toil at work.
I do sweat
Because it's
at
hot
work.
in Florida. But if I had to give a shout out to one person, shout out to Dellz' grandma. I'm not going to go into too many details for those who, if you know the situation, I'm not going to go into too many personal details. But um, speaking for myself, and I know speaking for our friend group as well, I'm very appreciative of the time that your grandmother and the hospitality that your grandmother has given us. I lost my grandmother at a very young age. I lost my grandmother at age 6, and I can honestly say that your family in particular has been very welcoming to not only me but everybody in our friend group, and I've always been appreciative of that. I know I speak for everybody when I say thank you so much to your family, especially your grandma, just for showing us hospitality and being like family to us, and pretty much taking us in like kind of as her own, because God knows what we could have got into as kids out on the street. So
Facts.
I know there was a lot of nights where she didn't want to put up with us, but it was a much safer alternative just being in her home, cutting up and playing video games,
Yeah.
talking with each other, and playing cards, and to be out on the street. So
All
thank
she
you,
wanted us was to go to the
especially
store
your
for her.
grandmother. Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
right?
just go to the store. All right, bet. Whatever you want, Grandma.
Absolutely. As
I
long
really
as you don't
appreciate
make
that.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
After a certain time, just be quiet. I mean,
yes,
you
be
guys
very
are
quiet
basically
after a certain time.
Right.
you guys
It
are
was always fucking
family,
Tyshawn. Like, Tyshawn, shut the hell
man.
up.
Bro. Bro.
I was
She gonna kick us out.
I was watching some like I was on YouTube earlier this morning. I couldn't sleep. I woke up really super early, and I came across like this prank war between this couple, and like all the pranks were like almost involved them waking up. I just reminisced to like how many pranks y'all used to play on him. I had nothing to do with it. I wanted to say that now. How many pranks y'all used to play on him when he was asleep? Like
I
you
feel like
guys would draw
everybody did.
on him.
I
I
feel
did
like it was
nothing to
Tone.
him.
It was not Tone. It was
It was
it was mostly
It was
Wes
Tone.
and Tone.
Yeah.
it's definitely mostly West. You guys used to draw on him, and like, I think somebody held a water balloon over him and poked it with a
But
pin.
BJ did the worst thing.
I don't
BJ
remember what I
stomped on
did.
his nuts for no reason. I don't
Oh
know
yeah, I remember that.
why you did that.
And he woke up slow. So kudos to him.
as as he always did,
He woke up slow.
and then go right back to sleep. I
I
don't
don't.
have
Yep. Shaving cream, drawing
I don't
ears.
remember that. I
You
don't
remember
remember
that?
that. Uh, I don't remember that.
I remember that.
I don't know how y'all remember that. I
I
don't remember
remember.
that.
I remember that day thinking he wasn't human because he no sold it. He just woke up like, and then he fell back to sleep. And I'm
right
like,
back to sleep.
he's not made of this earth. Whatever I'm made of, built of, he's not built of. He's much stronger than I am. So
Good times.
Yeah.
Is that? I guess that's it.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, family and friends. This has been episode 6 of Views from Drew.
Thank you to all my
Catch you
friends in Drew
later.
also.
Oh, that took a lot longer.